things that were taught you wrongly. For example, in your school days, you learned that A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y, they are vowels. But A, E, I, O, U, and Y, they are actually letters and they are not sounds. So you need to unlearn these things that A, E, I, O, U are vowels because they are actually letters. The most important thing is what makes a vowel a vowel. The word vowel ultimately comes from the Latin vox. So here we are looking at the etymology of the English word vowel. Because as we know that most of the English words, they have been derived from Latin root, Greek root, Germanic root, or other languages. So when it comes to the word vowel, we find that word vowel comes from the Latin vox, meaning voice. We have seen that vowels are sonorous. And when we say vowels are sonorous, we want to say that vowels are loud. So something that has a voice that is loud. It is the source of voice and such words as vocal and vociferate. So the same root is responsible for the other words like vocal and vociferate. And again, the meaning of these two words, vocal, vociferate, and vowel, the meaning is related to voice or loudness. Now, when it comes to consonant, if we simply pronounce consonant, then you will hear very little sound because when the consonants they come with sound. So vowel is sound and consonant they come with sound. So that's why the word for consonant in Latin is sonare. Sonare. And what is the meaning of sonare? That means with sound. So they come with sound. If they come independently, for example, if I pronounce the consonant in this word parrot and I am pronouncing the first consonant. So if I say p, then you also hear p and little a, p. Then this consonant is loud. Then this consonant is that loud that you can hear it very clearly because it is coming with vowel, a vowel, p. So you also hear a sound. But if I try to simply pronounce this consonant, then the pronunciation will be without vowel. Now you will find like we can't hear you, but this is the actual consonant pronunciation. So that means consonants, they do not have that strength, that voice. And from where do they get their voice? They get their voice from vowels. So that's why consonant literally means with sound. That means with vowel. And we have again a Latin root, sonare, two sounds. So this verb yields, that is right, the word sound and many others like sonic and resonant. So similarly, this sonare is responsible for other words in English like sonic that we have and resonant that we have. But the essence is that consonant, if they pronounced purely as consonant, then they lack sound. Like, or if I pronounce the first sound in the word nest, then the pronunciation would be n, 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 n. And if I add vowel, then it become na, na. So there is a, that means there is vowel. I am not simply pronouncing consonant, otherwise it is n only. So this concept you need to keep in mind. First thing is you need to unlearn that A, E, I, O, U. They are letters and they are actually not sounds. That is one thing that you need to unlearn. And what you need to learn is that vowels means sound, voice, loudness, sonorous. All such things are associated with vowel. And when it comes to consonant, then they will be loud if they come with vowel sound. So we have seen the pronunciation and the occurrence of various consonant and vowel sounds that we have seen. We have seen that if we want to divide English sounds, then broadly they are divided into three types. And these three types, they are based on the phonetic property they have. So vowel is one type, consonants, they are other type, and glide, they are other type. Now, when I use the word glide, then you might have heard the word glider. Now, glider is a plane-like object, and it is popularly used in tourism when where different tourists they use glides to fly over the valley, to fly over the hills. So the glide and the concept of glider is that with the help of that glider, you can move from one place to another place. This is basically the concept of glider. And if we keep that similar concept in this word glide, then it has the property of vowel and consonant. So again, two things like vowel, the property of vowel, and consonant. Both properties we have in the glide. So again, two things. And when it comes to vowel, then we know that very little restriction is there. And where restriction is there, restriction here in the larynx. You already know that we have a larynx. Larynx is also known as Adam's apple. Larynx is also known as voice box. And inside larynx, you have two vocal folds. And the space between two vocal folds is known as glottis. So when can you have a little restriction? When vocal folds are wide open. So if they are widely apart, then you have little restriction. And when they are closed like this or like this, then you have some restrictions. So in consonant, you have restriction. In vowels, you do not have restrictions. Generally, in vowels, vocal folds are wide apart. Vowels are sonorous and loud and long lasting. Long lasting, when you compare them with consonant sound, then they are long lasting. So it's not like I say a vowel ah and you will hear after 1 minute. That is not the meaning. But if you compare ah with then you will find that they are long lasting. A few milliseconds, they last long. Then complete closure. In consonant, you have obstructions and sometimes complete closure as well. And in consonant, you have narrowing as well. Narrowing of what? Narrowing of your mouth. So sometimes your mouth is open, sometimes it is narrowed. And if your mouth is completely closed, then you can't pronounce anything if it is completely closed. So when we talk about complete closure, here we are talking about few specific consonant sounds where you have a complete closure and sudden release. It's not like complete closure and you are pronouncing something. If your mouth is completely closed or your vocal your the areas that pronounce, if they are completely closed, then you can't pronounce anything. So um, don't treat complete closure means like you are completely closing your mouth and then the sound is produced. No, it is complete closure and sudden release. And there are certain consonant sounds that we will discuss. And when it comes to syllable, because we have not discussed the concept of syllable yet, but in a syllable, vowel is the peak of sonority. Peak of sonority means the loudest sound. So in a syllabus, sorry, in a syllable, you have a consonant sound, a vowel sound. And when you compare consonant and vowel sound, you already know that vowels are louder than consonants. So this is like surrounded by less sonorous sounds. Which are less sonorous sounds? Consonants. So in a syllable, you have one consonant, more than one consonant, two consonant sounds, three consonant sounds, but you have one vowel, and that vowel becomes the peak of the sonority. That means the loudest sound is vowel. Now these areas we have discussed many times, so you need to uh, keep this thing in mind, that which area is where located. Also, my suggestion to all of you is to practice this, because in the examination, one question will be to draw by your hands the figure like this. So you need to draw this figure and you need to name it. So it's not like a drawing competition that okay, like you need to draw very beautifully, but at least body parts should look like body parts. So it should not be the case that you are drawing a human figure and it looks like something else. So at least lips would look like lips, teeth will look like teeth, tongue will look like tongue, and the nasal cavity, oral cavity, then the glottis, trachea, that windpipe, and this pharynx. So all such should look like at least the human figure. That is my suggestion. We have already seen these different articulations and different type of sounds and what will be the shape of the tongue. In all the figures you find that the tongue is responsible for their pronunciation. So there is no major difference in the shape of the mouth except one. Here your lips are touching each other. Otherwise, if you are not focusing on the tongue, then you will find that the figure is same, almost same. Only the difference in these, in B, C, D, E, F, you find the difference is only in the tongue, and very minute difference. And because of this minute difference, you have different type of pronunciation. So here, as you can see, this tip of the tongue is touching alveolar ridge. So once you see this figure, you must be able to recognize what is happening here. So here it is, two lips are touching each other. That means it is bilabial. Tip of the tongue is touching alveolar ridge. So this sound is alveolar. This tongue is in between teeth, upper teeth and lower teeth. This is interdental. The meaning of inter is between dental, between teeth. Now this is your alveopalatal region. The tongue is different shape and it is touching this alveopalatal region. That means alveolar region and palatal region both. This and this. This is your alveolar region and this is your palatal region. Because the tongue touches both, that's why you have the alveo and palatal region. Retroflex, when the tip of the tongue is bent like this, little bent. You can see here little bend, little bend. So this bend is for retroflex sound. And which are retroflex sound? T. These Hindi sounds like ta, tha, da, dha, na. When you say ta, tha, da, dha, na, all these sounds are retroflex sound, because when you pronounce this, you can find that the tip of the tongue is little bent. And velar, the back of the tongue is touching soft palate. This is the back of the tongue and it's touching soft palate. So these figures are different, little difference, and you need to find out what is the difference. So it is not something very arcane or something very mysterious, because you all are competent speaker. You all know how to pronounce particular words. You all know how to pronounce particular sounds. Just you need to focus how you are doing that. You need to just pay close attention. You need to observe yourself only. So once you observe yourself closely, then you can very well understand that what is happening inside you. Because most of the things we don't understand, it's happening inside us. So if we pay close attention to our body, to how we pronounce, then you can very easily find out what's going on here. Now this is the main thing that we will discuss today. This is English consonants, place and manner of articulation. Now we will discuss specifically the place and manner of articulation of English consonants. So all these are English consonant sound. Now we have already discussed that certain shape of sounds, because we are discussing consonants. These are sounds, these are not letters. So you won't pronounce it like P. You won't pronounce it like B. You will say P, you will say B, P, B. Fine. So this is, But for each sound, you have three information. Let's say I pick the sound p. I am picking this sound p. Now, what three information I have? P is a voiceless sound. P is a voiceless sound. P is also stop. So manner of articulation is stop. Now, previously we saw that we have this complete closure. So for this particular sound, like per sound, we have this complete closure, because as I said, like you want to pronounce per sound, but you are not pronouncing sound. You try to release the air, then it is blocked. It is blocked by your lips. Air is not released. Air will only release when you pronounce the sound p, p, then it is released. So complete closure and sudden release. Complete closure, sudden release. So that's why this sound is known as stop. And there is another term for stop that is known as plosive. Plosive. Now, why plosive? Because you might have heard of a term explosion. Explosion. Do you find any similarity between explosion and plosive? Certain letters are closely related. Explosion and plosive. So the bottom line is that when you pronounce there is very little explosion in your mouth. So there is a release, sudden release of sound and then the air is released. Otherwise it is blocked. You can't release the air. If you try to release the air and without pronouncing this sound p, because there is the blockage of p, then it is released. So three information. First information is the manner of articulation. The manner of articulation is stop or plosive. This sound is also voiceless and it is also labial. So three information for p: voiceless, stop, and labial. Now when it comes to, because these two sounds, they are coming in pair, p and b. That means there is only one difference in these two sounds. P is also stop or plosive. B is also stop and plosive. P is also bilabial. B is also bilabial. Then what is the difference? The difference is P is voiceless and B is voiced. So this one difference you find. And if you want to check voiceless and voiced, I have previously told you that there are two, three types of tests you can conduct at your home. First thing is you keep a little candle in front of you, you light it, and once you say p and then you say b. When you say b, then you will find that the flame of the candle will flicker more. Flicker, you will find it will move more when you pronounce these two sounds. So candle is, let's say, this much close. Don't put it too much close, but at least this much close. And you say p and then you say b. You will find when you say b, then it will flicker more. If you don't want to conduct this test, then there is one more test. This area of your hand, and you cover your ears very tightly with this area, airtight, and you pronounce this sound continuously, p, 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 and then b, 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 b. Then you will find more echo in your mind once you say b, 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 b. So that means b is voiced and p is voiceless. So this is actually the meaning of voiced and voiceless. It's not something that is silent. It's not like that. So because in the voiceless sound, your vocal cords they won't flicker as they flicker in the voiced. So these vocal folds are so sensitive that even you are not pronouncing a sound and you think of a sound and they start flickering. So before thinking or pronouncing, actually they start flickering. So that means that quick your organism is, because everything is controlled by your mind. all the body organs, they are controlled by your mind. So this is actually the beauty of human body, that how it functions. So many times you do not know what you are thinking, but your mind is continuously functioning. Many times you want to get rid of certain thoughts that are already there in your mind, but you do not have that freedom. So it is said that once you are filled with negative thoughts, then you should leave that particular place at once, because it is not, your mind is not in your control. And if there is a negativity, then there is a chain process, that all the things that are associated with that, they will become negative. So it's always better that if you feel some negative vibes from a person or from a place, you immediately leave that place. That's incidentally, and we were discussing the nature of the mind. But this is how vocal folds, they are also controlled by our mind. So for one sound, you have three things. So if I need to describe this sound p, then how will you describe this sound? I will say voiceless, bilabial, plosive. I will describe it: voiceless, labial, stop. So as I said, like stop and plosive, they are synonymous. So you can say per is voiceless. First you will describe this voiceless, then you will describe place of articulation, bilabial, because two lips are involved, and then stop or plosive. So how will you describe b sound? B sound you will describe voiced, bilabial, stop. So these are three things. One is voicing, either voiceless or voiced. Second is place of articulation, and third one is manner of articulation. These three things are known as three term labels. Three term label. Three term, P-E-R-M, term labels. Three term label. Now let's say you want to describe this sound, T. So T sound is voiceless, alveolar, and stop or plosive. The sound voiced, alveolar, and stop. So this is your first assignment, that this is the chart. What you need to do, you need to write three term labels for each sound. Three term labels for each sound. Let's say your sound is N. How will you describe this sound N? N is voiced, alveolar, nasal. So you need to look at this chart and you need to describe. Now, how will you submit this assignment to me? So you can submit this assignment to me on Friday. You can submit this assignment through your WhatsApp and send me your individual assignments. How will you prepare this assignment? You write this assignment in a piece of paper. You will write your entry number. You will write your name. You will write your class or a section or your degree, name of the course. Let's say BBA, MA, BA. So you will write like that, and each sound you will describe. So you will start from here. You will start from here: pa, ba, ta, da, ka, ga, and this is glottal sound. This sound is you will find in between the words, but not in the initial. In English generally, and this the pronunciation is so when you say bottle, bottle, so in between double T is pronounced like this: bottle, bottle. In some pronunciations, not all pronunciation. If you very clearly pronounce bottle, then you can't hear that. But in a continuous speech, there is a possibility it is bottle, bottle. Fine, that type of is there. So a little cough, when you have a little cough and you do like this, this is the pronunciation. This sound occurs from here, the glottal. This glottal, this larynx. So it occurs from here. So we will discuss all these sounds, but I hope you have understood your assignments. And if you have any doubt, then we will discuss and write also in the chat box. Each sound, you first write the sound like this, and you need to draw the sound exactly like this. You need not to use your creativity in drawing these sounds. The shape must be same like this, and You put a mark of hyphen and then you describe the sound. Fine. We will discuss these remaining sounds tomorrow, and this is for the day. So if you have any doubt, any question, you can ask me.